Hi there, trader. Welcome to this new episode 3 of the algorithmic trading series. As you can see on screen right here, I created a strategy in TradingView in PineScript that managed to book a 105% profit. We started on the 12th of January and it is now the 3rd of February. So within less than a month, we managed to actually book 105%. But of course, drawdown. It doesn't always win with a drawdown of around 17.1%. Now, if we go into some deep backtesting and we test all the way back from 2024, 1st of January up until now, so a little over a year, what you will be able to see is that the algorithm is actually able to book around 618% of profit. What you will see, however, is that there is quite a bit of drawdown. This is far from perfect, but I mean, I would take a max drawdown of 69% if I knew that the end result was going to be 600%, right? You can easily tweak this because in a year, you don't need 600% gain. If you can make 100% in one single year, you're already outperforming many hedge funds, many of them. Now, of course, the strategy that I'm using here are basically from concepts that I used to teach my students. And I decided to convert this into some pretty simple code. It's still pretty simple. I can make it a lot more advanced and increase the win rate because right now the win rate is only 45%. So of course, all of the logic behind this exact strategy, I will not be giving away. The main question in episode 1 and 2 was very simple, and it was, Mr. IdeaFix, how can I create a TradingView indicator myself from my strategy? And well, that's a very good question. I've even seen that a ton of you guys were already making pretty decent attempts at actually creating one yourself, which I think is admirable. It's very good that you do, but the output always seems to be the same for everyone. They keep saying, damn, it doesn't really look good. It doesn't do what I want it to do. Either it's just completely not working, or when I have something working, it breaks it. There are constantly errors in there. So what I will do is I will take you through the entire process of how I would tackle starting out creating strategies using ChatGPT, using PineScript, and using TradingView. And by the way, PineScript is actually the code engine of TradingView. By leveraging ChatGPT and TradingView, you will be able to create a profitable system. It's not that difficult. And the beautiful thing is you will get signals. There are no emotion. This, for example, is all on the 1 minute. And yes, this works everywhere. Let me quickly show you EU, for example. Boom. Same kind of story. Of course, we need to change up the lot size here. Let's play around with that. There we go. I tweaked it a little bit. So if you want only like 6% drawdown, you can make up to 21% of net profit on EU, and it's all going to use liquidity-based strategies. This is liquidity in a very tight scalping fashion because as you can see, it executed over 500 trades in a time span of less than a month. So this is a very aggressive system. And as you can see on gold, the number is about the same. So it doesn't really matter which pair you use it on. Let's say, for example, US 30. Boom, on US 30. This is, of course, impossible, but the lot size is now too big. Let me change that to, let's say, 10 contracts. If you would be trading 10 contracts, you could be making up to 100% net profit with a max drawdown of 20% on US 30. And you can apply this strategy to absolutely every single pair. So that's pretty damn nice. Now, of course, keep in mind that backtesting data will never actually reflect real trading data, but it gives you a pretty good idea that this system, for example, is indeed a functional system. Alrighty, so without further ado, let's actually get into how you would build your own system. And as an example, what I will do is I will use the system that someone actually explained to me in the DMs. And it's a very simplistic system, and often simplicity is being taught that it doesn't work. People say, oh, RSI doesn't work. Oh, EMAs don't work. It's all price action, liquidity, and naked charts. No, that's definitely not the truth. What is very true is that most indicators are lagging indicators, meaning that they will only print what price has already done in the past. And the past does not reflect the future, as we all know. So if you can actually make predictions of live price action, it is likely going to be a lot more beneficial to you in the long run, and you will likely be able to make a lot more money. So the system that we are going to be creating today is going to be pretty simple. Alrighty, so on screen right here, you can see the prompt that I typed, and I asked ChatGPT 03 mini high. I said, create a PineScript strategy for TradingView that uses the following: 200 EMA for trend direction, RSI for figuring out overbought or oversold conditions, typos don't matter, ATR for stop losses and take profits, focus on 1 to 2 risk to reward trades, and only trade in sessions. This is actually a strategy that one of the people in Discord DM'd me about, and he says that he has been trading this on a funded account and he's been making money with this. I've always taught people a little bit more advanced concepts, and I've always been heavily against using indicators, especially as a starter, especially if you're going to manually trade, because they are lagging and you can do so much better. But when it comes to algorithmic systems, these tiny little things, they can really help you out in figuring out a trend, figuring out when something is overbought and oversold, figuring out how to make a dynamic stop loss and take profit based on the average true range, which is, for example, the average moves that the market makes, focusing on a set risk to reward, only trading in sessions, those types of things, all very good foundational things that you can use to build a robust system that is going to understand what it is doing. We, for example, probably have a different way of spotting a trend than the 200 EMA, but we need to learn a system how to look at trends. Now, of course, there are way more advanced ways of actually doing this. You have machine learning, you can do a bunch of nice mathematics in Python and run a model like that, which is something we will get to. But right now we're going to start really simple. We are going to just smack this prompt into GPT and we're going to see what the actual output is. Now, do keep in mind that this model of ChatGPT, and you can actually find in the OpenAI documentation what the different models are good for. And this one is very good at reasoning with code. So this code quality from this specific model will always be better than from a, let's say, 04 or even an 01. All I do, and I will show you a screenshot again, as you can see, it just spit out this code right here. Just spat it out like that. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to hit add to chart. And boom, there we go. We just created ourselves a strategy. Now, does it look perfect? No, not yet. So now that we have a very simple system converted into a strategy, we don't even need to look at code. We do not need to worry about it. We need to explain to ChatGPT exactly what is good and what is bad about the strategy. So let me take a closer look right here. We took a short and we exited that short fairly quickly. And as we can see, there was a lot more downwards potential all the way up to over here. So potentially it doesn't work well on the 1 minute. So what we could do is check out how does it perform on the 15 minute. And again, it seems to not be doing good at all. So it is following the trend, but the exits seem to be way too early. Another thing that we can notice is right here on the 1 minute chart, and we know that we're backtesting around 20 days in the past. We can see that we only took around 12 trades. Now, if we trade on a 1 minute, if we trade with an algo that can execute a lot of trades really quickly, we could expect to see a bit more trades, couldn't we? And by the way, by no means are these results bad, because let's actually take a look. We're going to go to contracts. We're going to say we are trading 100 contracts here. As you can see, we have a drawdown of 3.37% and we have a net profit of 5%. So honestly, this is a profitable system. We could even pass a prop firm with this already, right? As is, as we just pasted it in here. Will that be on every pair? Probably not. Here on US 30, for example, high gains, but also high loss, right? On the NAS, it doesn't really work. So this is not a very consistent strategy or model right here. So we're not going to just smack something in GPT and expect the correct outcome from it, do we now? So I just prompted GPT again and I said, very simple, all human language here. I just said, it seems like we only execute around 12 trades while I'm expecting a lot more. It also seems like we exit a bit quick, but let's make sure we change the amount of trades we take. So this is saying, look, there are two issues, so prepare yourself that there are going to be multiple issues. I'm not just going to spam GPT with all the issues. No, I'm going to be conservative. I'm going to say, look, two issues. I want to focus on the first one first. That way it will keep everything intact, but the thing that we ask it to. And next up, we can prompt it again with a second thing. Because trust me, if you're going to stack on issues and issues, it is going to completely change all of your code, and it's going to fix one thing and break another. And this is something that you will consistently see in development as well. Junior developers, they try to take on so many things and they just end up breaking other things without even realizing it. And before they know it, they don't know what to do anymore. And that's exactly what's happening with GPT. We have to understand that GPT is still developing. We cannot expect it to do everything at once and be good at everything from the get-go. All right, so it's again spitting out some code. I already took the liberty to paste that right here. And now it says it enabled pyramiding, it removed single trade checks, and it implemented new trade management. So let's hit update on chart and let us see what it is now doing. All right, so we definitely have more trades, as we can see. And I also think we're a little bit more profitable here. So now we have a drawdown of around 3.5% and we are making 9.7% profit, which is good. Now let's also quickly check different pairs. So here on US 30, what we can see, and don't mind the gravity of these numbers. If you see that the drawdown is 39%, no one wants that. There is no investor that would like to see almost 50% of his capital being risked over the course of 1 month. So do not focus on that. Let's say a realistic drawdown would be like 4%, then we could assume that we made 9.6% here. Good. That's already very nice. And we executed 38 trades in the time span of a month. So that is pretty decent. Now, again, let's take a clear look at these positions here. So here we took longs, a long here, lost that one, another long, likely won that one or lost that one. I'm not sure. I'm immediately seeing that the ideas that ChatGPT recommended, mainly the pyramiding thing, and I will paste it again on screen here. So it says pyramiding enabled. So this is what I mean with look at it as someone who is a little bit more special needs, and no offense to anyone. If you're gonna tell a person who is a little bit different, who thinks different, and let's imagine you're at a party. So you have 10 balloons filled with air. If you're gonna say this person, we need more balloons, take care of it. He will say okay, and he will get more balloons. But if you do not give him the instruction to inflate the balloons, it's gonna be very possible that he doesn't inflate the balloons. And again, no offense to anyone, but it's just you, the person who is giving the instructions, needs to be very clear of what it wants. So now I'm going to go back to ChatGPT and tell it that I do not want it to pyramid orders. I just want it to execute a little bit more quick. So what could that be? Dial down what it thinks is premium and discount based on the RSI. Let's try that as a first step. So I prompted GPT once again, and this is only the third prompt, right? I said, please undo the pyramiding. I don't like it. Let's also use wider stop losses and take profit. This for GPT, he is going to be able to link that to extend the ATRs that we use for stop loss and extend the ATR that we use for take profits. And again, an ATR would be, let's say, if you look over the course of, let's say, 30 candles, and if your ATR is 30, it is going to look at all of those bars and is going to see how many pips it moved, and that will be your ATR on average, right? So if on those 30 bars, let's say you had an average movement 5 pips is going to be your ATR. So if you then use 2 ATRs for your stop loss will be 10 pips. And if you want to have 2R, your profit is going to be 20 pips. That's what that means. So all I asked here is to extend the ATR and additionally change the RSI 40 and 60 for our buy and sell conditions to generate more signals. This basically connects to that thing above. And it doesn't matter in which order you do it because GPT is very smart. You can literally mumble in this thing and it will still understand you because that's exactly what it's super good at. So I am once again going to copy and paste all of the text, click update and see if our system is still intact. All right, so let's go to the strategy tester and let's see how it is doing. And as you can see, this is already starting to look a lot better, isn't it? We have executed a total of 83 trades. 42% of those were profitable. We had a profit factor of 1.45. So this doesn't really match up with that 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio, but that doesn't really matter. And this was on US 30. So we have a 300% gain in time span of 20 days and a 33% drawdown. So let's divide that by 10. In 1 month, we would make 30% profit, which I think is very, very nice. What can we see? Where are usually going to be the most losses happening? Going to be right here in this area, as you can see. And that's the beauty. You can visually see the code that you're writing and say, okay, when we have consolidation, my strategy does not perform well. And let us ask ChatGPT to actually take care of that. So my next prompt, very simple. I asked ChatGPT, in periods of consolidation, my strategy doesn't perform well. Implement the simple system that only allows trades to happen in a trending market. And it seems to have implemented the ADX indicator. And as we can see, we are getting exception. And now this is where a lot of people are getting stuck, because if you are going to paste this into ChatGPT right now, there is a chance that it's not going to be able to answer your question. So what you're going to do, you're just going to look at the error and you're going to try to interpret this. If we look, we have the 200 EMA, we have the RSIs and the ATR, and now the ATA. It is saying could not find function TA.ADX, all right, which means that it is not finding the ADX indicator. So what do? You open the reference manual and you are going to type ADX, and there we go. As you can see, it is not actually called ADX, it is called the DMI, which is the directional movement index, which as you can see is going to be the same as your ADX. We are coding in version 5, and that is because GPT has the most information of 5. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to type ADX. We're going to grab the documentation. Here is an example. We are going to copy that example code, and we are going to then paste that example code together with the error that PineScript gave. All right, so based on that documentation and based on the previous code that was provided, I simply said we got error, could not find function reference TA.ADX. It seems like we need to use the DMI function. Here is a snippet from the docs. Make it fit our, and I just paste the example. As you can see, the example that was in that manual right there, the reference manual. So let us see what ChatGPT provided us. And there we go. It's working again. So as you can see, if you are going to just say GPT fix it and it doesn't understand how to fix it, it doesn't necessarily have the entire reference manual of PineScript in its memory. No, you're gonna need to give it tools tools to solve the problem. If you just say there is an error here and it doesn't understand that ADX actually needs to be DMI, it's not going to be able to solve it. And the thing it's going to start trying to do is to say, okay, we need to fix this. I do not have enough context to actually implement an ADX. All right, I'm just going to start doing a bunch of different things and break the entire. That's basically that's what it's going to do. And you definitely do not want that. So let's see how the strategy performs now. So it's going to be filtering out a bunch of trades that are happening during consolidation. And now we can see we actually managed to get that profitable win rate up to 52% with a 1.9 profit factor, which is insanely good. Same story here. 60% of your trades are profitable. You have a profit factor of 3.3 even, which is crazy. For a drawdown of not even 3%, you are now making 15.55% trade. And I think this is really showcasing the power of what ChatGPT combined with PineScript can do for you. You can transform your strategy into a beast of a strategy in a matter of minutes. This didn't take me long at all, and I even presented examples. I gave explanations. Now imagine what you can do if you just go ahead and work this. It's not that difficult. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. Let me tell you, these results, while they are good, and a lot of people would be satisfied with these, let me tell you, you can do so much more if you work with Python, if you work with more advanced machine learning, and those are all things that we are going to be covering in future videos. Let me also highlight that this system does not have any kind of machine learning. So we are not leveraging machine learning in this strategy at all just yet. No, we gave it means to identify trends. We gave it means to see when the market is overbought or oversold. We gave it means to identify consolidation, and we gave it means of placing a take profit and a stop. Nothing more, nothing less. We can improve it, we can adapt it, and we can do a lot more things with it while going through iterations of manually reviewing, or we can let machine learning do all that heavy lifting for us. And that is something that right now I am mainly focusing on, and something that I really want to teach each and every single one of you. I will make this indicator publicly available. All you have to do is join my Discord server. You will find a link in the Discord server where you can grab this indicator together with code, and you can start working with this as your foundation. You can start trading this if you want to. If you do, make sure it's with demo money. I do not encourage anyone to trade with real money. Trading is risky, and before you actually want to put your own money on the line, make sure to know what you're doing, because you can lose a lot of money really quickly. Very important for me to say that. To set up a strategy that is making you money in only a few minutes, is doing all the backtesting for you, and it didn't cost you a dime. All I ask for you in return is for you to leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and join my Discord server. I would love for you to join my Discord server, because you are going to find so many gems in there that is really going to transform your trading and take to the next level. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care.